All right, man. We live right here on the We Outside show. I got the world famous, the infamous, the one and only, the
Yes, sir.
internet's most wanted. You know what I'm saying? Euro Gotti,
For
man. What's
sure.
going on with you, bro?
Man, I'm glad to be here, Big X. Like it's definitely a blessing. Like you, Coalition DJs, everybody been rocking with me, man. I'm always glad to be happy in y'all presence.
So, man, I got it. You going ham on the on the internet every time I turn up. You on there. You going crazy.
Yeah.
You got the internet. I mean, everybody's talking about you. I want to get into that. I'm gonna
For
get
sure.
into that, but I just want to like instead of getting into all that, tell me like what's going on with Euro Gotti right now. Like update me on what's going on with you.
For sure. Well, definitely right now I'm going through like a transition, a transformation. I'm even doing away with Euro Got It. Like people that know me as Euro, I'ma still, of course, it's still love. It's always gonna be love, but I'm transitioning to King Got It now. Like I done
Okay.
went through a lot, so
Right.
it's kind of like I'm shaving off all that the old, the past stuff, like the tests and trials that I went through before, and transitioning into a new lane. And it come with a lot of pain. It come with a lot of experiences and tests and trials and tribulations. But ain't nothing we can't handle. Like if it ain't gonna kill us, if it ain't gonna send us to jail, hey man, we gonna do what we gotta do to be great.
That's what I'm talking about. So,
Yes, sir.
so you say King Gotti. So when you say that, I know, being that you've been through a lot of shit in this game. Like, just give me your history. Like, tell me, like, how you got in the game.
Well, basically, to be honest with you, that's crazy because it almost seemed like it seemed like it's a commercial for Coalition DJ. Because if I have to be honest, Coalition DJ definitely played like a huge part. And this ain't no script. This ain't nothing you told me to say. But I remember coming up to y'all, bro. I didn't have no money in my pocket. Y'all didn't know that.
Right.
But y'all, it was always love. Every time I ran into you, I still remember you pulled me to the side. What was that club on Marietta they closed down? Strip club.
The stiletto.
Man, I still remember when I was in a group, bro. Like you called me up there, street hit my line. Like it was like, and I ain't even have Posse the song with Lil Baby yet. I was
Right.
still like with a group and everything. And you was always like, "Love, you took us to the studio, Wit Street and stuff like that." So it was like this was all me being an indie artist, but it was still like that kind of support system that I had, where it was like you was taking chances with people that wasn't in the game yet. You couldn't benefit, make no money off of it yet, and you still had enough. Those kind of gestures and stuff like that was kind of what helped me keep pushing. Like I was already doing the indie showcases and stuff like that. I was trying to figure out how to include a message in my music and stuff like that. So it was like everything that like me going through the indie situation, me being on like this cap ass fake label and shit like that, like me being like just everything I went through, learning like even going through therapy, learning a lot of the traumas that I had bundled up and stuff
Right.
like that. This what like led to me becoming King Got It, because it's kind of like I overcame so much that I ain't know was really going on, and it's like now it's like I feel like damn, like I don't know, and I don't feel like it's nothing I can't do. I know the real message of what it is to be a black man, like taking care of my kids, my family, like and putting a message out there, not giving a damn what the society think. It's like I know who I am, and can't nobody take that from me, and I ain't willing to sell out behind nothing. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's time to call myself a king, like, and respect myself as such. So that's how I'm moving.
So you say you did the indie. So and I know you did the indie scene for a long time in Atlanta. Like what was one of the big struggles? What was your biggest struggle that you had as an indie artist before you got with AE or anybody else? And even when I was dealing with you, what was your
sure.
biggest struggle?
My biggest struggle, honestly, like one, not having the finances and resources to get where I wanted to get, because it was when you don't really have that kind of guidance or people that seem like they believe in supporting in you.
Right.
A lot of times you do want to give up, and if you don't have nobody telling you just keep pushing, or I believe in you, or if you don't see certain signs that it can happen for you,
Right.
you kind of be in your mind wondering if you being tested or if you just focused on the wrong thing.
Right.
And I think like for me, I ain't never seen nothing else outside of music for my life, for my calling.
Right.
So it was like I didn't really have a choice, because I don't have a fallback. I can't go to basketball. I can't go to a 9-to-5. I ain't got no college degree. This all I know.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like for some of us, it might not be all we know, but if your heart ain't in the right place, it's like you can give up on what might be for you easily because it's like you focus on the wrong thing. A lot of niggas want the glitz and the glam and the girls and the pussy. Everything that could be free.
Right.
That's what niggas be chasing to get in this game. When they don't get it fast enough, it's like they give up and they quit and they resort to something else that can either take their life or, you know what I'm saying, seem much easier to attain. So
Yeah, so but I seen like and I'm gonna tell you, just caught me off guard because I was on YouTube the other day, right? And I seen you and this beautiful girl. Y'all was walking through this field.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, when did this happen?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So bring me up to date on that, bro.
really, to be honest with you, bro, so I've been me and her name Tiffany, like me and Tiffany been rocking like for about like 2+ years.
Okay.
The hard part about being an artist is you gotta figure out what's real and what's not.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then it's like you don't be wanting the stuff that come with it, like, cause you gotta also understand it's like these hoes out here be trying to break what you got going on, like just cause they ain't happy.
Right.
These niggas out here want to tell you, nigga, I had your girl too, this, that, and the third.
Without a doubt.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you kind of gotta learn a person. So it was like for me, before we even got involved with each other, I had to figure out who it was I was dealing with, if they was coming around for an opportunity. Cause me being kind of like, if I be real about it, like growing up in the church and stuff like that, I was a little naive and gullible. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's been a lot of times where I thought certain females might have been right for me or rock with me because and stood for what I stood for, but it was all a facade. So this time around, I had to take things kind of slow, learn things. You know what I'm saying? We had our ups and downs, but in the midst of seeing like how she was as a woman, as a mother, how she carried herself, the respect, it wasn't so much me like I ain't with preaching to no woman. You get to a certain age, you kind of know. You know what I'm saying? How you supposed to carry yourself. So it was like we stayed off the internet with a lot of our personal business because it ain't for the internet.
Right.
I don't feel like social media is really a place of love, to be honest. You know what I'm saying?
It's not.
Niggas like even right now, people watching, but they really watching because they want to see us.
They want to see
They
us
want to
fall.
see. That's what they want to see.
You know
So
what I'm
I
saying?
kind of keep it. I keep my stuff on the hush hush. There ain't nothing to hide, but it just kind of like if we living in peace on the other side of that internet, it's like we gonna stay in that. So
with me seeing you over the last, like at least say last year, right? I seen the growth. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna be honest about it. I like the growth. I seen you one day. I got on. I was like, damn, I ain't even know that about you.
Yeah.
I'm like, I thought this nigga was a trap nigga.
yeah,
But you was speaking. I ain't even gonna say elegant. You was speaking more. You was more educated on what you was talking about
sure.
as far as your finances, how you want to live, where you want to go, your dreams, your aspirations, and that kind of shit. At what point did it hit you? Not from what you went through with the label,
Right.
But at what point did it hit you as being not Euro Gotti, but just being who your mother raised? At what point did it hit you that, yo, man, a lot of this shit ain't real?
To be honest, before I start feeling about a certain way about where I was going at the time, I don't know if it's political. It might be political that I can't really necessarily speak on it.
Right.
But when I realized that the music game was a facade, when I found out it's more about who you know,
Right.
and what you willing to do to get where you want to go.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of it is like, that's when I had learned, the music game ain't about talent. It's not about talent. Like, if it was about talent, we'd have so many more people in the game right now because it's a lot of talent.
Right.
It's about learning the politics. People be wondering, like, how LeBron get where he at.
Correct.
This is a game. You don't just come out here and know how to slam a ball and shoot real good and stuff. No, you learn the politics. That's why this
no
nigga
doubt.
overall on 2K is crazy. That's why he get the endorsement. You learn the politics. You know what I'm saying? You don't go to the trap and just be like, nigga, cook the dope and let me get it right quick. I'm finna go serve, just catch some money. Like, no, nigga, you have to learn to re-up. You gotta learn the politics that come with it, not stepping on nobody's toes, turf. So when I started learning the politics of it and realized it was more to it than just having a hit song and being cool with niggas, that's when it was kind of like, damn. Matter of fact, if we be truthful about it, Posse came out in 2018. That was my first single I dropped with Lil Baby. I was getting features and getting shows booked prior to the song drop. However, when it dropped, I'm not scared to say I didn't get no money. my first check, cap man, you know, boom, whatever. The nigga took my first check. I'm gonna be straight up. Like
Okay.
my first check that hit from YouTube, all that, like I never recouped from none of it. And he play a game of saying like you stay in the hole, you stay in the hole, you stay in the hole. So it's like you constantly think you in the hole and thinking you owe, but it's like it was never no return on a lot of stuff. That's when I had to start realizing niggas ain't out for me, like they ain't with me or for me. They just, you know, they playing the game.
Right.
So
So
yeah.
now let's talk about Posse, because
Okay.
I hear you talk about the record all the time and how beneficial it was for AE and it was for, you know, even for you.
Right.
I have to ask you this because I hear it all the time. Do you think the song was more beneficial to you, or was it more of did people look at it from a consumer standpoint? Was it more of a bigger record for Lil Baby? Was it a bigger record for Lil Baby than it was for you?
It was actually both. Like it got me where I needed to get. So I was grateful. Like I didn't capitalize on it the best I could because I was new.
Right.
And me being new, you know, I made that first artist mistake of the loyalty and stuff like that, the trusting and believing and stuff like that. So, but in all essence, it got me that exposure I needed.
Okay.
Like it didn't provide the lifestyle, the funding, but that was sometimes it's like when your heart pure and stuff like that, God might not have it cut out for that. As for Lil Baby, me personally, I can say I felt like that was his best verse, like to start, like starting off, like feature wise,
Like features to me, that was like one of his best features.
that's what everybody
starting
said.
out,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
exactly, exactly. And so I'm grateful for that. It was crazy because he actually started coming to that same studio that we did the feature in. It was like the energy and the chemistry was there. He
Right.
started coming there and recording. And it was just like, so I was definitely grateful for the experience of that. I don't think it did what it should have did, but you know, you just give stuff time. At the same time, we should have came in and hollered at Coalition DJ, and maybe it would have, you know.
Well,
what
I
I'm saying?
mean, you know, on the low, you know, your boy Boom Man, he was talking to me about it, and I did a few things for y'all. I don't know if you remember when y'all was at the what was that we did, the Dutchmaster thing, and you performed.
Yeah, sure did.
yeah.
I remember
You
that.
remember that?
Yeah,
And-
man, I
and
met
I
Nip
remember-
for the first time and T.I. That happened in T.I.
And that particular night, I remember Boom coming to me like, "Yo, man, all the PDs in this motherfucker, I need it." You know what I'm saying? And I did it because I fuck with Boom, and I also fuck with you, but I was more so leaning towards you because me and you over the last few months prior to that, we was really hanging out and kicking it. I remember one night I fell asleep in the studio with y'all niggas.
That was that same night we went to. We was at Stiletto.
And I remember y'all being so patient with me, like, and y'all was hungry and y'all really was trying to get on. But through that whole situation, bro, I hear you got a lot of stress on your chest. You know what I'm saying, about that whole situation. Do you feel like the way you exposing the situation, and I gotta be an OG about
Okay,
it.
of course.
I gotta be an OG about it.
I want the world to know.
I gotta
exactly.
ask you, my nigga.
You gotta
So,
ask the question that they. And what's crazy, I don't even let nobody be talking to me like this. But you the OG, and you always have
right.
respect. So
it's all out of respect.
Of course.
And I'm asking you, like, the way you handling the situation, I gotta ask you that. Do you feel like you handling it in the best way that'll see you do bigger things in the future?
To be honest with you, the way I went about it initially, no. I don't feel like it was at first. A lot of times, with people not knowing me, they can misconstrue it as anger and hurt and upset.
Right.
And yeah, I was hurt.
Right.
But it was more so like the passion. Like it was kind of one of those situations where
You had love. It
was
love.
always love, but it's like when the perception is like, I would say this on air or whatever, when it come down to as a man, respectfully, even to this day, I love Boom.
Right.
I just don't respect him as an individual because I know what goes on behind closed doors.
So would you say you respect him as a man, but you don't respect his business?
I don't respect him as a man. Like I'm gonna be real with you. I say I love him.
Okay, got
Me personally, I love that nigga. That's
All right.
just me.
Okay.
Because it's kind of like if you coming from like once I love you despite
No
whether
doubt.
you was using me, playing me. That's on your behalf.
Right.
But at the same time, you a bitch nigga, whole nigga. I'm gonna call it as it is.
Right.
So it's kind of like that's where I stand with it as far as what type of nigga you are. I don't have to deal with you, so it's cool. But I can still tell people as a man, I personally love that nigga, like because it's still like that's what my heart opened up to do.
Right.
I feel like the situation, I do feel like I can understand how people can misconstrue it as like me being bitter, because a lot of artists are usually that way. A lot of artists wait till they go broke, and then that's when they want to start blaming somebody.
Right. Cause I know, I mean, I can't speak for Boom.
For sure.
I won't speak for him.
For sure.
But I do know personally, you know, when that record was out, he was reaching out on a regular basis on your behalf, like, yo, man, can we make this happen? Can we do this? Can we do that?
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if the finances at that point was there where he wanted them to be, and you know, it ain't my fucking business.
Right, of course.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, just speaking on his behalf, I think, you know, he was doing everything as a manager, and that's now what y'all did internally.
Right.
I don't care to know. Don't want to know.
Right.
But speaking on his behalf, I know being a manager in the position he was in, having an artist, he did everything that he was supposed to do as far as making that record pop, getting the right artists on it, getting it the way it was supposed to go. And I have to ask you this.
Okay.
Like, do you feel like, is it anything in that situation that happened that you would have changed?
To be honest, if it got me where I'm at right now, it ain't nothing that I would change. Again, it's like me understanding like how business work. I don't see one thing about I learned when you got certain relationship with certain people, it's good to just be friends with them, but don't do business with them. Because if you don't know the business side of how they operate, or if you know the business side of how they operate, it's been time when people be like, you know, I love them, I fuck with them,
Right.
but you see now why I don't do business with them. We still got a good relationship, so I understand the relationships, but I also have to look at it like when you have like a certain, like what we got to understand too is prior to AE, it was MMI, it was 3MG.
Right.
These were the same situation going on, and I hate to say this, but in the most respectful manner, you had Roscoe Dash, you had A1 and Supergroup. Okay. You had
Damn, I forgot they was over there with him. Man.
You had KE, you had K-Rab, you had, it's a lot of people that you can name. Joe Green, what happened to them? If you want to take responsibility for blowing them people up, blowing me up, this, that, and the third, what happened? And that a lot of time is like when you just wise up. I had to see it was being a puppet. Like people don't see the bigger picture of what you can do in a rightful manner. People see the right now. Make a puppet out of you, make you blow up, make you look good, this, that, and the third, and then you turn around and you want to be like, Euro got it? This is what I did for him. Bring me some money and I can do. And that's what went on. So, and I hate to say that, but bro, we went to Sony. I'm talking about president of Sony. I went to every record label except like about two. That was probably like Universal and somebody I forgot. We turned down every deal and went just for the sake of saying we went to turn down a deal because it was like the perception was supposed to be sold that Euro is doing this on his own. But in the grand scheme of things, it was really like the back picture was, I need you to stay here because you're so much of a people person, you can attract people. So of course, me being the type of person I am, I was so grateful for the opportunity I was given. I said, you know what, in return, bro, I'm finna make this label the biggest label I can. And so I made the first artist mistake of, instead of pushing myself, I didn't want to look like I was for self. So I always screamed, AE, AE, AE. Right. And that's why people know Posse as AE featuring Lil Baby versus Euro got it.
Right, okay.
It's time, you know, I go do the shows and people would stand there and be like, oh, that's him. He seen that song. Right. But it was just like a first time in the game mistake. So again, I'm grateful for what Boom did for me because it opened my eyes. Like, I can never be fucked in the game after this. Okay. So I learned early on I need to learn the business. However, everything that he did, whether it was for a negative purpose or not, I still end up like, you know what I'm saying, seeing the upside.
You're in a great position.
I'm in a great position.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't take it as a negative. So, but let me ask you this, and this is the other question I know that everybody in the streets want to know, because I know like with your success, Fujiano came along, and when Fujiano came along, we kind of seen the shift at AE. You know what I'm saying? And we seen, like, I remember y'all coming through for the anniversary, and you was on the stage, and then Fujiano got on stage after you, and then it kind of turned into a Fujiano show. And which was, you know, to me, it's cool. Like I said, I don't get into none of that shit.
For sure.
But when he came in, what was the energy for you at that time?
I was always good. Like, me being the oldest of 10 kids, like, one thing I think the label, like, everybody over there at AE would tell you, like, you would never see no hate in my blood, like, never. And it was crazy because it was like when I first heard Fujiano record was when we was doing the live review, and I was like, damn, this shit hard as hell. So we had a little showcase or whatever, and when he came out, I never knew what he looked like. I just knew they had me like judging and shit, and he looked over the side and pointed at me like that. When he pointed at me, I'm like, who this nigga pointing at? I stood up, and when it dropped, I said, oh, I grabbed Jeezy and said, that's my nigga, boy, this nigga so hard.
Right.
So I'm singing the song, this, that, and the third. I even got on the mic after when niggas got mad that he won, and I told niggas, like, you know, if we got to record it, people will see it. Like, nigga, he waited his turn. It might just be his turn. Don't give up on your dream, because that's the type of nigga I am.
Right.
Every show, if you could watch every old Fujiano show, nigga, you might call it a groupie. I was just proud of the fact that I understand as an artist, we come from nothing.
But y'all was together. Y'all
We was
on the
always
same team.
together, but
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know, like, to be honest with you, the division came from Boom. I'm going to be 100. I'm going to get that nigga his flowers where he
Right.
owe his flowers.
Okay.
But I'm also call you out on your shit, because it's like, if we going to keep it 100, I don't play about dividing us as black men. Like, me, I took my chain off my neck. Food didn't have no jewelry, no nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He was grinding. I took my chain off my neck, gave the niggas my chain, never asked for it back. And I'm not saying this to brag, it's because I had that much love and
But
respect for
you
him.
embraced him like a
I
real
always
family
respect
member.
it,
You know
even
what I'm
to
saying?
this
So,
day. I don't be knowing like how it's looked at now, because I do know how that manipulation game is played to where the divide and conquer type shit.
Right.
So we don't have no hate. It's love, but I know it wasn't what it was in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I know that didn't come from me, because it's always been the same with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, despite what was said, I was even told, like, yo, when we go do shows, I see how much they embrace him. So I never had a problem with sharing the stage.
Right.
Even when I was told to take a back seat by Boom, it was like, yo, let's let Fujiano do this, that, and the third. I respectfully said, okay. I said,
Right.
bro, I get in this back seat, long as this car going the same place, I take the back seat. Let's turn Fu up then. He's like, yeah, we're going to turn Fu up. We're going to get the bag, and then we're going to cycle back around and let them refresh and be new to you again. I said, cool. And it was just, I had to see that wasn't really the plan. The plan was, okay, maybe I can get Fu to do this, that, and the third. Once Fu got situated, it became the Fu show, and he started selling the services with a new face of Fu.
Right.
Fu got rid of Fu. Fu got situated, and then we tried to cycle back around to whoever the next hot thing is on the like, oh, I got this, that, and the third. It's just a service selling game. So it's like, I respect it. It's selling perception, but it's like, that ain't what I signed up for.
So and I spoke about this like a few times on my Instagram. And like I said, I didn't do this interview to bash Boom.
Nah,
or no shit
I'm
like
glad
that.
you're
So,
doing this.
You know, I didn't. You
For
know,
sure.
that's why I don't want to go deep into that shit, because
sure.
it's not. My intentions for doing it was never to bash.
To
Boom.
bet, of course.
But I do have to make, light of, a lot of artists out here. They do spend a lot of money out here with a lot of entities, even with my company, as far as coalition. A lot of people have come through my company. How important is it for just artists to do research on the people that they're doing business with?
That's very important. And again, I'm not gonna sit here and like, I don't want this whole interview to come off as I'm mad at Boom.
Right.
This is an artist learning experience that I'm just encouraging other artists to learn from when they doing business.
Right.
You always have to evaluate the type of person you are. And a reason I be using a lot of trap and dope references is because I know a lot of people can relate to that. When you doing business with a dope man, you don't deal with a dope man who flashy and could take potential chances of getting y'all caught up. That's not how we operate. Like, we in the business to get money, not to be seen.
Right.
I hate to say it, but if keeping it right, I know you got to be careful, because certain artists had a run in the game, and if they don't get the spotlight that they was looking to get, they'll try to find another route to do that. So it's like, you have to be cognitive of, like, when you're dealing with certain music, is that pay attention to their lifestyle, what they do on Instagram and this, that, and the third. If they flashy, you kind of got to wonder, do you want to be an artist and live this rap lifestyle, or what's the point of why you doing what you're doing? It's okay to accomplish stuff. It's okay to show off what you have. But when you make it solely your show, and it's kind of like, you kind of be like, damn. So it was kind of like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I was eager and I was happy that somebody took the opportunity to want to see me win.
Right.
And I didn't, despite the signs that I had already seen, it was on me that I kind of ignored those signs, thinking that because of my heart, I can change a certain individual. Right. And that's what I was looking to do. And when it didn't work, I kind of was like, well, I was being the way I wanted somebody to treat me. How come they ain't treat me like that? That's not the way it worked. You know what I'm saying? If you knew it, you stay away from it. So it's kind of like, I don't be mad like at how flashy of a lifestyle a person might do. I don't be mad. I can't be mad at the greed, because if I seen the signs and I ignored them, that's my fault. You know what I'm saying? And it might not have been there before, but it's like you go through everything in life for a reason. So yeah, it was just kind of like, you know, I seen it with Roscoe, I seen it with all the other artists, I seen it with the it's always be like, if I can't get the spotlight from me rapping, I could take it from somebody else that I put a, you know, quote unquote, put a bag behind, and then when they check come, they don't see the check. We don't see the check. You know what I'm saying?
So this leads me to this question, because I heard you say something. You know, I'm an old school nigga, and I gotta ask you this.
For sure.
You've been through a lot through that situation, and I can hear it. I hear the passion in your voice and everything. So, and I hate to see two black men just even at odds with each other. You know, I always feel like, yo, man, we can always sit down and have a conversation and work things out. Do you feel like at some point, and time heals wounds,
right? For sure.
So I'm not saying right now, but I'm saying, do it at some point in your career, sometime in your life. Do you feel like you and Boom can sit down and y'all can iron out, or even just get to a point to where y'all can deal with each other?
To be honest with you, we already reached out, and to be honest with you, I sent him a long forgiving message, not apologizing, but forgiving, because I always came in with genuine intentions.
Right.
I look at the patterns of how a person carry themselves, and it'd be one thing when you make a mistake and be like, yo, I learned from that and I apologize. But when you have a repeated history of like years and years and years of doing this, I could sit down, but I would never do no business, because I know the apology is coming from a space of, I'm gonna fuck you over again. Right. I'm still a snake at the end of the day. And again, it's like, I could sit down as a man. If I were doing business, no. I never seen him do, like, even there's Grammy award winning producers and artists that vouch for the fact that it's kind of like, even today we still got good relationships, because it's kind of like I came in with good relationships. There's people who warned me prior, like there's people who told me like I'm actually getting more business now than I did before, because the OGs that's like been around in the game like you, it was kind of like, I can fuck with you now because now you wised up. Before, I was so loyal, I was saying fuck everybody that was saying fuck him, because I didn't know why they were saying fuck him. I'm like, this is my dog, this, that, and the third. It took my eyes being open to see like, wait a minute, they been around 20, 30 years in the game. They been around, and bro, so you been doing what the fuck? So yeah, I would definitely sit down, because as a man, that's just the type of nigga I am. I'm gonna sit down with you, I hear you out. But once I know the type of individual you are, I understand when your apology is legit, or when you want to, like, when you looking for something in return, and that's why you apologizing.
Okay. So now that you went through all that shit, and now you kind of grown, you kind of like, you got a big platform now. Your platform is growing every day. I see it. I mean, it's like when I seen you was going off and shit, I was like, yo, why was he doing that shit?
Yeah.
But I understand, like, and there's a lot of people out there that you became a voice for.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So with having that voice for those people that might have went through some shit with not just him, but other people that, even, just went through different things, getting services from people and didn't get the shit that was supposed to get done, you kind of like became their voice.
Right.
So becoming that voice, what would you say right now if you had to give advice to any young indie artist coming up? What would that advice be?
Aside from the first thing that matters is where your heart is. If you in this game, if you cool with being a sellout, accept what come with it.
Right.
Like if you only want to be like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, and it's okay, because as a human, some niggas just want diamonds, bitches, and pussy.
But we got to go back and analyze that word, because you're saying be a sellout, and a sellout to me means they'll go against anything, everything to get to the bag. So
right.
Is that what you're saying?
You got some people who kind of like that. A lot of those people typically come from either I can't necessarily put a strain on where they come from. Sometimes it's just something inside people that say by any means necessary. I don't need morals. I don't need principles. And if that's what they soul accept, that's on them. So I can't be mad. Like it's a lot of people that saying like, oh, I don't agree with how they doing this, that, and the third, blah, blah. That's what them people want to do. They might be cool with that. They might be living the time of their life because that's what they wanted to do. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, don't trick yourself or psych yourself as to say, I want to do this because I want to help buy my mom a house when you done hit a PPP loan and ain't give her $25. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, don't psych yourself out to believe that you're trying to do something good if you're not, because a lot of people wonder why this not happening for me. It's because it's like your inside really ain't clean. You ain't being pure with yourself. And I ain't saying you got to be a good person for it to happen. It's just your intentions have to be honest.
Right.
If you know for a fact, I'm going to rob this nigga for a come up, don't sit here and say, I'm really trying to be his friend and I don't understand why we ain't clicking.
Right.
Your intentions ain't pure. You ain't being real with what you got going on.
Last question is this, Euro. What do you have coming in the near future?
So I'm no longer being like this trap rapper that I was being betrayed at. It's bigger, like I'm definitely for the women. I love women. Like women are a vibe. I'm for the kids. Of course, I got kids. So a lot of my new music that I'm pushing out now, my next single is called In the Morning. Mm-hmm. And I'm being like consciously honest with women. I'm basically like, I'm telling women it's okay to like really be who you are. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then we get a lot of the concept with it being called in the morning. If you don't really wake up next to that dude in the morning, don't try to play him like that's your man. We grown men. We can wake up wherever we want to. If we wake up next to you, then you know what it is. If we don't come harassing and stuff because you grown, you understand that. So, but I'm saying that in a respectful manner that women, I feel like, can learn to accept and be like, okay, cool, I can respect this and stuff. It's definitely a vibe. And I'm also getting away from like a lot of cussing in my music. Okay. Like my kids love my music, but it's like I be having to skip sometimes. So now I got like 3 or 4 records that I done recorded and I ain't cussing. And they go crazy about them.
And I'm glad you mentioned the kids because you almost made me forget my biggest question I always ask. Yeah. And I ask every rapper this that come on my show. Okay. What do you feel like your responsibility is to the kids?
Everything.
You know what I'm saying?
Everything. Taking a stand for what's right and being like, we always tell our kids to take a stand for what's right, but we don't let them see, like, it don't never be no reward. You get that grandma who, I hate to say it, but it's like she might be down bagging her luck, always going through stuff, but she tell you, take a stand for the right thing. You be like, nigga, they ain't got you nothing. Like, what you talking about? So with me, it'd be like, take a stand, be a man, and be like, you can still boss up and live how you want. You can still do what you want. You know what I'm saying? My girl's still bad. I still got 3 cars. I still got a house. I still got like my kids taken care of, dripping, all that. Like, and I be looking good every day. So it'd be like, take a stand, bro. It's all right. Take a stand. Don't accept I can't or nothing like that. Like, just be a positive outlet and let them see that you can have fun because the kids relate to fun.
That's right. So
don't be no lame and no square telling them that, like, have fun with it. Like, let them see, like, okay, cool, I can take a stand and still be that. Like,
that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
So we came to the end of this thing, man. I want to thank you for taking your time out, man. I know you had a real busy schedule and you took time out
for sure.
Come by and just appreciate it. Out, and you know it's love.
For sure, I know that.
So, is it anything you want to say to anybody? Shout out to anybody, anything you want to say before we get up out of here?
Man, definitely shout out you, Big Ed. Shout out Street Politician, man, and Coalition DJ who've been rocking with me from day one, like, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Shout out to all the people that tuned in, that's listening, that's been rocking with me, that understand where I'm coming from and stuff like that, and just shout out to everybody, man. I'm just grateful. Shout out my team.
It's all good, man. You know, and this ain't no gay shit. I don't want you to take it as being no gay shit, right?
Nah, you good.
But you know how girls go, oh, you got a glow around you. You got that glow. Yeah. You got that glow, my nigga.
Man,
right?
and I promise you.
Like, I feel your energy, my nigga. I can feel that shit resonating off of you.
Man,
I feel it. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna lie.
From the first time I met you to now, the motherfucking spirit is up there, man.
Thank you, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't got no haircut in about a damn month because I've been feeling this shit so much. Like, I've been feeling in my damn self, like, man, like, yeah.
And I appreciate the energy was so up, man. I told Street, I said, damn, I want to do the interview, but I don't want to talk about the boom shit. I'm liking what the nigga doing.
Yeah, no, of course. Of course, everybody that interview me, I don't never tell you, it don't be coming from no ill place. Like, even when they ask me questions, that's the difference between being like a man and trying to be in no, like, man, I don't get in my face. Anything that's asked, trust me, the world want to hear it anyway. So by you even asking that, they be like, damn, he asked the question I wanted to hear.
Right.
It helped me to be able to give them an honest response and a positive response versus what they think I would say.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna lie, I be grateful for it.
Because the indie artist, man, your gripe and shit has been a real gripe, and you've been the voice for a lot of people. So, you know what I'm saying? I want to just let you know, man, while we on my show, I'm very proud of what you're doing, man.
Thank you, man.
And anything that you need me to do or my team to do to help you get to where you're trying to go, man, you know we always on board, man.
Thank you.
I appreciate you, and I'm never ashamed to tell you I love you, man.
Always, man. Right. You know I love you too, Ed. I appreciate you, bro.
Sure. All right.
Yeah.
So that concludes this edition of We Outside, man. I want to thank Euro God and his team for coming through today. And until we see y'all again next week, next month, to the next time. All right, we out of here. Peace.
All right. That was hard, man.
Man.
That was hard, man.